I love everything that you do, but I hate the way that you move.
I record button. YouTube. Welcome back to my channel, right? Thank y'all for tuning in. We are at 125 subscribers, bro. That's insane, especially considering the fact that the last time I talked to y'all, I was only at 100, and I was trying to convince y'all to help me get. No, I wasn't at 100 yet. I was at like 90 something, and I was begging y'all to get me to 100. And this was just 2 days ago, and we're already at 125. I wish I had one of them little like applause things, but I'm not at that level yet. Like I need a little more corn. I need to get a little more coins in my motherfucking wallet before we get to the point where we have sound effects and lights and all this different kind of stuff. Okay. All right. So with that being said, thank y'all for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing the video, anything that y'all are doing to help, elevate me, help get this platform going. I love it. I appreciate it. And I'm hella thankful for that support. So with that being said, as y'all can see by the title of the video, today we are talking about polygamy. We're talking about polygamy. Now, understand, for most of this video, when I'm saying polygamy, I'm really referring to the specific type of polygamy known as polygyny, right? AKA men taking more than one wife, right? And one of the main reasons why I'm focusing on this type of polygamy is because it's the most widely accepted and pushed type of polygamy, right? So with that being said, we're going to jump straight into the vehicle. Bro, I'm going to leave that shit in there just for my cousin, bro. I promise you, I did not do that shit on purpose. Like, I don't understand why my mind keeps saying vehicle. Like, I don't get it. We're going to jump straight into the video, bro. We're going to jump straight into the video. From my understanding and from my observation, polygamy is nothing more, or polygyny is nothing more, nothing less than men wanting multiple vaginas and turning that into a lifestyle. That's all it is. That's all it is. And I feel like it's important to state that because you see a lot of people try to turn it into something deeper than what it is, right? Oh, this is the true way of our people before the white man. No, it's not. No, it's not. Can we please debunk that? Like, let's debunk some of the myths surrounding polygamy. Never, ever, at any point in history, as far back as is recorded in mankind, has polygyny ever been the norm for the majority of the households within a given community. It's just not the case. It's just not. In society, let me say that, because you will find instances of small tribes or individual groups of people who practice polygamy or polygyny, right? However, never at any point could we go to Greece or Egypt or any other major society and find that polygamy, any form of polygamy or polygyny, was the standard norm for every household. That just was not the case. This was not the case. I'm sorry. It just was not the case. I tried to find it. I did the research. It just is not the case that monogamy was invented by the white man. Can we place that right there? And I think that this is kind of what really frustrates me with the whole polygamy conversation, is because there's a lot of fallacies and there's a lot of manipulation and just people trying to push a certain acceptance of polygamy onto other people, right? And that shit irks me. Especially when it comes to, like, well, let me say this. I do think pretty much all forms of polygamy, whether it be a man with multiple women, whether it be a woman with multiple men, whether it be multiple people intermingling with each other, it all comes from that same root of people just wanting to fuck multiple people. That's just what it is. That's what it is. You want to fuck multiple people. And some people will sit here and say, oh, it's not about sex. It's about nation building. It's about working together. It's about creating a village. Okay, so go get with a group of other couples or single friends, whatever the case may be, move into a house together and split the bills. And don't have sex. If you're only doing this because it's about coming together as a team, building stable wealth, creating a village, right? Then go get with your friends, go get with other couples, move into one's community, stack y'all money up, help each other with each other's endeavors, things of that nature, and just don't fuck each other. Don't put each other's body parts together. You won't do it. Why? Because it's about fucking. That's why. That's why. Like, on some real shit, if polygamy has nothing to do with sex, that's not why you're doing it, then why do you have to have sex, right? Why do you have to fuck these women if your whole goal is to create stability and teamwork? You don't have to sleep with these women in order to accomplish that, right? So let me just say that. With that being said, I also think that there are pretty much two types of people who support polygamy. And this is from my personal experience and observation. Like I said, we have a lot of brothers within the conscious community who will go on and on and on about nation building. Sir, you don't have a nation. You don't have a nation. You work at a warehouse. You speak English. You live on land that's not yours. You live in a household that's not yours. You have no way of providing your own clean water, food, clothes, shelter. And I'm not talking about you going to the store and purchasing these things in another nation, right? I'm saying you as an individual being, because you're trying to create a nation, right? You're trying to create a sovereign nation. How can you do that when you don't have a language, you don't have a culture, you don't have a school system, you don't have a health system, you don't have land, you don't have nothing that you would need in order to have a nation of people and to be able to sustain them, right? So for whatever reason, you think it's smart to skip to the stage of rapidly reproducing with a bunch of women when you're not even in a position to provide those children with enough resources and autonomy to even consider themselves a separate nation from the one that you currently live in. That's stupid. What's going to happen is any children that you do birth out of that polygamous situation are not going to become a nation for you. You're just going to create more children for the nation of America. That's all that is. Not only that, but personally, this is my perspective. And if you all disagree, y'all can drop it in the comments. Y'all can come on here and speak. I don't truly believe that that's y'all goal with polygamy. Because as far as I can see, many of the pro-polygamous people within the Black conscious community don't barely have no fucking kids. Look at niggas like Nature Boy. This nigga been polygamous for how long? And all he got to show for it is one kid with Eliana. But you're doing all nation building. Oh, it's the man's nature to spread his seed and reproduce his bloodline. So why the fuck have you been polygamous for however many years? You have all these wives. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. I forgot his first baby mom. So he got, at the most, he has 3 kids, I think. 3 kids. So you've been polygamous as fuck for all these years. You had, I don't know how many wives. You fucking on this bitch, fucking on that bitch, fucking on this bitch. And you only got 3 women. I mean, you only got 3 kids out of the whole ordeal. What happened to spreading your seed? What happened to to reproduce in your bloodline. I thought the whole purpose of you doing this was because it's the man's nature to spread. So why aren't you spreading your seed? Some of y'all practicing polygamy and using condoms or birth control. You're actively taking or pulling out. You're actively taking steps not to have kids. But soon as somebody is opposed to polygamy, the first thing that comes out your mouth is, oh, it's a man's nature to spread his seed. It's a man's nature to be with multiple women because, boo. So why the fuck aren't you adhering to your nature? Why? Because it's not about nature. It's not about building a nation. It's about you having the pleasure of sleeping with multiple women. That's what it is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. If you feel differently, express that. But from my observation, that's what the fuck it is. Okay? And then on the flip side, many of the women who participate in polygyny only do so out of desperation, right? And when I say desperation, I literally refer to the definition of desperation, which one definition is essentially being in a position to where you've exhausted all other options. Okay? A state of being in which you've exhausted all other options to reach a favorable outcome. Sorry. So, but yeah, so desperation, right, is reaching a state of being in which you've exhausted all possible options in order to reach a favorable outcome, right? So this is why one of the main, as a woman, right? If you're a woman who doesn't fuck with polygamy, right? And you've spoken to a woman who does, and you say, I'm not interested in sharing my man, right? What is the first thing that they do to try to rebuttal you? What is the first fucking statement that they always make? You sharing your man anyways. You know, you don't know what he doing. You think you got him to yourself, but whole time you sharing that nigga anyways. So you might as well. That's desperation, sis. You've been cheated on so many times that in your head, if you can't beat them, join them. You've been cheated on so many times, and then you're listening to the rhetoric of these niggas within the community saying that this is the man's nature, that you've just adopted the belief like, look, no matter what I do, a nigga's gonna cheat. A nigga's gonna sleep with multiple women. So I might as well just give in to defeat and accept his nature and deal with these other women openly. I promise you, I challenge you right now. I challenge you. If you don't believe me, stop everything. Go on Instagram and look up like a polygamist, like just type in like polygyny or something like that, right? And you'll find like different like pro polygyny pages, right? Go on one of the posts and say something like, I don't really want to, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think I'm really open to this idea. I'm just not interested in sharing a partner with other people. Guarantee you, right? I guarantee you right now, multiple people, especially women, are going to respond to you, and they're going to all use the same rhetoric of, well, men cheat anyways, so you might as well accept it. That's desperation. That's desperation. I'm sorry, sis. Then a lot of women are in positions to where they've fallen in love or they've caught feelings for a nigga who didn't initially get with them on some polygamous shit. And then now he tries to flip into that. And now they feel like they have to accept polygamy in order to stay with this nigga. Right? I'm telling you. Look at fucking. I'm telling you. I don't even need to give y'all examples. That's what it is. I'll give you an example. Blueface and Jaden, right? Blueface and Jaden Alexis. What's going on here? This nigga's polygamous. Okay? That's really what it is. He wants to have multiple women. He said it himself. He's going to have multiple women. She said it herself that this is how he is. He's going to have multiple women. Do. But as we can see, she's not truly cool with that. She's tolerating that. She's putting up with it because she wants him so fucking bad. But if you pay attention to their situation, she's been with him since high school, right? She's been with him since he basically was a kid, and he wasn't a man, let alone had an understanding of what his values and belief systems were as a man, right? So as a result, as he began to grow up and become a man who favors polygamy, Jaden kind of just got stuck with a nigga who grew into polygamy, even though that's not what she wants. So now she's in a situation to where she's going to either have to stop fucking with the man that she's been fucking with since high school and walk away from a relationship that she's been building for over 10 years, or she's just going to have to accept that he fucks with other women. And this is what a lot of women find themselves in, right? This is why a lot of women end up accepting polygamy, because they want a particular nigga so bad that they'll just accept the fact that he's with other women just so that they can have him. I'm going to do a story time about the time that I did polygamy, right? I practiced polygamy. One of the times anyways. And just let that give you a little insight as to why I'm not really fucking with it. Okay. So, okay, I'm gonna just make this super quick. So, not too long ago, right? I met this guy, and we're going to call him Paul. We're gonna call him Paul. That's an inside joke for myself as to why I'm gonna call him Paul. So I met Paul, right? And he already had one wife. Okay. He's a Muslim man, right? So he's under the belief system that he can have 4 wives, right? He already had one wife. Now, when I first met Paul, it was completely platonic. It was just speaking about, the Bible, the Quran, various information such as that, right? Very innocent. Until one particular day, this nigga came to me and said, hey, I told my wife about you, and, I want you. Like, I want you to be one of my wives. I'm gonna spare y'all all the extra details. I said yes. I ended up saying yes. Okay. So one of the first red flags with that situation was the fact that he actually had a second wife, but they broke up. And it was a huge dramatic display. Like, they broke up all over social media. He was airing her out. She was airing him out. Their business was everywhere, right? So she was still kind of hanging around, right? And they were working out their problems and discrepancies and trying to work on getting back together at the same time that he was asking me to be his basically his third wife, right? Now, that's a red flag in polygamy. It is. Because this is one of the reasons why I don't fuck with polygamy, because a lot of people turn to polygamy because they are not satisfied with the person that they're with. That's just what the fuck it is. A lot of people, especially men, instead of working out the bullshit that they're dealing with their first woman, they try to just tack on another woman to try to compensate for everything he feels she's missing, right? And this is why one of the most common reasons that a man gives besides vagina for wanting multiple women is, oh, well, I love them for different reasons. Oh, she can do different things for me that she can't do. Guess what, sir? That means that you're not with the right person. If the person that you're with is missing shit that's so drastic that you need to fuck with a whole other person because you have to have these qualities in your life. Because we're not talking about little shit like she can't dance. The fuck does that do for your life? You don't need that in your life, right? We're not talking about little shit like, you know, I don't know, just little stuff that, of course, everybody isn't going to be perfect at everything. She doesn't know how to draw. Like, what does that have to do with you? If you're saying that your first wife has qualities missing from her that are so significant that you need to marry an entire second person in order to compensate for those deficiencies, you're not with the right person, love. You shouldn't have to marry 5 different people in order for you as one person to be fucking fulfilled, bro. You're one person. You're one man. You barely have, especially as a working man, you're working a 9 to 5. You have kids. You have a household to take care of. Your time is already divided up. How are you going to be a partner, a full partner for 5 different people? You can't. You as one person cannot be a full, complete partner for 5 different people. But you can acknowledge that you see what I'm saying? Like, you need 5 people to be a partner for you. But you think that you're so great and you're so spectacular that you as one man can be a full partner for 5 different people. So one person can't satisfy you. One person isn't enough for you. But you think as one person you're enough for 5 different people. That's selfish and that's delusional. Sorry. So that was a quick sidebar. The reason why I was pointing that out is because this nigga Paul had major issues in his first marriage, had major, messy, sloppy, crazy, toxic ass issues in his second marriage. Why the fuck is he trying to add on a 3rd wife? So if you are interested in polygamy, if that's something that you are taking into consideration, don't ever in your fucking mind or ever in your life see little red flags like him having issues with the person he's with, and then he's trying to get with you, and slide past that shit. That I'm not going to I can make a whole separate video of red flags in polygamy to get into details on why that's a red flag. Just know that that's a red flag. If you see a nigga who has major issues with the bitches he's already with, you're a dummy to sit there and walk into a relationship with this nigga. I'm gonna spare y'all all the extra details. Just know he ended up getting back with his second wife, and she got there. She ended up went and moved in with him and his first wife. Okay. Not too long after I got my shit together, came out there, and now it's me and 3 other women in one fucking household. Okay. So off rip, everything was pretty chill. When I first got there, nothing too crazy happened for the first couple of days, right? The first major red flag, right, was when me and him were intimate for the first time, okay? This shit is messy. So me and him are in the middle of having sex, and his first wife busts in the room, right? She busts in the room. We both look over like, and she turns around. She immediately like turns around and takes off walking, right? She goes back upstairs. Like, me personally, I'm not thinking nothing of it. Like, okay. Like, it's not like I'm a side bitch or something. It's not like you didn't know what the situation was. Like, why would I think anything of it? But I notice his energy shifts. We finished doing what we doing, but I notice his energy is like off after that. So, you know, after we get done, I go upstairs. He hops in the shower. He gets out. I hop in the shower. And whilst I'm in the shower, I start hearing hella yelling and like arguing back and forth and this, that, and the third, right? And so the first wife is going on and on and on about how that shit ain't right and blah, 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 blah. And she's actually putting a bug into the second wife's ear, like, oh, he down there fucking her. When was the last time he touched you? Blah, 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 blah. Do, 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 do. Blah, da, 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 da. And they're arguing back and forth, right? So, long story short, I guess the reason why they're pissed is because they had some type of agreement where he's not supposed to have sex with any of us unless we're all together. I'm gonna pause it right there. That's fucking stupid. That's stupid. If you're going to participate in polygamy, right? If you're going to agree to a situation to where this man has multiple women or this woman has multiple men or we're all in a relationship together even, there shouldn't be anybody trying to like gatekeep the relationship in the sense of, oh, y'all aren't allowed to kiss each other unless you kiss me too. Y'all aren't allowed to have sex unless I'm there watching. Like, that's fucking weird. That makes sense if we're doing a threesome and it's just a one-off type thing. We're gonna bring somebody in for the night, spice up the relationship, and then they're gonna go about their way. That makes sense. But you don't sit here and enter into a whole polygamous relationship, but you feel it's realistic that every time one of us wants to touch each other, everybody has to be present. That shit's fucking weird, right? So that's something that you might see a lot if you're someone that's interested in polygamy. You might see like weird ass restrictions like that where it's like, oh, you think everybody's here for the same thing. You think everybody has the same understanding, but lo and behold, this bitch cocks an attitude when she sees you with him. Or, you know, y'all have sex or whatever the case may be, and now this bitch is jealous because, but why? Because like I said, most women don't actually want to share their man. That's just what it is. The average woman's not going for that shit at all. But even out of the women who will accept polygamy, the majority of them don't actually want to do that shit. If it was up to them entirely, they would not do that shit, right? They're only doing it because, like I said, they want that nigga and he refuses to be monogamous. Or in this situation, they're Muslim. So they believe, according to the Quran, it's the man's right to take 4 wives. So it's like, from a religious perspective, I have no choice. Whether I like it or not, I just have to accept the fact that this nigga can have 4 wives, right? So yeah, that happened. Then, do I want to tell y'all the details? Because, y'all, when I tell you, I'm gonna tell y'all the full story time of this shit one day, but today's not that day. I ain't gonna tell y'all every single detail, but I am gonna tell y'all one day. I'm gonna tell y'all about Paul, okay? But for today, we just gonna keep it cute and we gonna deal with the stuff that specifically pertains to dealing with polygamy. You cannot legally do polygamy in the United States. This is another thing that makes polygamy very toxic. If you are a person in 2023 in America, it's illegal in all 50 states. So you cannot legally marry multiple different women, right? Why is this a problem? Because your papers are not in fucking order. There's the structure, the dynamic. Nobody's actually entitled to shit. Now, if you're Muslim, you have Sharia law. However, that's not admissible in the court in America. So, with that being said, we had a situation to where Paul did not actually own this house, right? The house belonged to his first wife, right? Everything was in her name. So as a result, she had a lot of pull in the relationship that she should not have been able to have, right? Because it's a situation to where everything is in her name. So if she gets mad, she can be petty and, break the lease or do whatever the fuck and storm off. And then he's going to have to find somewhere else to go, and we're going to have to. That shit's messy. That shit's toxic. That shit is messy. As a woman, it's very reckless for you to enter into a marriage with a man who's married to multiple other women, because you don't actually have any real legal ties to this man. The country, America, is not going to recognize this as a real union. So if something happens to them, you're not entitled to shit. You don't have any right to make decisions for them unless they take and do individual work, such as writing out their will and making sure each of their wives are allotted certain things. I don't even know if you can have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 powers of attorney, right? So do you see what I'm saying? In the sense of if he was to get into a motorcycle accident, right, and be on life support, who gets to decide if we pull the cord or not? Even if he does appoint a power of attorney, only one of y'all can be a power of attorney. All 10 of y'all can't be his power of attorney, bro. Like, it just don't work like that. So I'm just saying this to say this is stuff that you have to kind of think about as a woman, is if you're going to share this man with multiple women and he's going to do shit even to where if he can't marry all of y'all legally, then he won't pick one to marry legally. You're calling yourself married to this man, but you're not actually married, and you can never actually be married to him because it's illegal. What y'all are practicing is illegal. So you have to accept the fact that you have no real claim or union with this man within society. And then even if he does marry one of his wives, only one of y'all actually has that legal claim. So now if you come in as a second or third or fourth wife, you're at a disadvantage because, again, say something happens to him. Everything is legally up to this other bitch, and there's nothing you can do about it. She might smile in his face whilst he's here. She might act like she's with the shit whilst he's here. But if something happens to him, you're going to have to rely on that one woman to be righteous and uphold what she said she was going to do, because you don't have any actual legal ties or holds, bro. Like, it's an unnecessary vulnerable situation to place yourself in. I think that practicing polygamy in the States, it puts you in a situation of where you're really and truly just a side bitch to whoever the first wife was. And you're calling yourself married, but in all actuality, that's what it is. You're not recognized as a civil union. And according to the courts, according to the country of America, the state of Texas, where the fuck y'all are, his first wife is his wife. If they're legally married, he has one wife and 30 side bitches. Sorry. So again, yeah, that was the issue that we dealt with there. She would get mad and she would dangle the fact that the house was in her name over his head. And so then he would kind of have to be forced to like compensate, or like little shit like she was skinny as fuck and me and the second wife are thick. You could tell she was jealous about this shit, right? So he would do little stuff like try to act like he wasn't attracted to us, or like downplay our shape or our figure to try to make her feel better about herself, right? I can really get into it, y'all. And when I break down the full story time, y'all, I will understand that I will. So I'm not going to put every little detail in here right now, but just know that because she had leverage over him, he would compensate or jump when she said jump at our expense, right? And unfortunately, that's the position that you're going to be in when you're trying to practice polygamy in a country where polygamy is illegal and you don't have equal rights to this man as the woman he's actually married to, or just it's messy. It's fucking messy. Okay? And if you're in a one-on-one situation, you only have to worry about you and him being on the same page. Now you have to worry about her and him being on the same page. You and him can be doing just fine. You and him could have just had some good ass sex, immaculate conversation, great vibes. But he falls out with her, or she's mad, and now his mood is fucked up because he's dealing with her shit, right? And this is something that I constantly face in this situation with Paul, where, like I said, his relationship with his first wife was hella fucked up. His relationship with his second wife was hella fucked up. I'm new to the situation. I don't really have no problems. We're not really having no type of beef for real. But I'm still always in the midst of some type of drama and arguing and fighting and back and forth because his other relationships are fucked up. And this is a reason why if you are going to do polygamy, don't live in no bitch house, bro. Do not share no house with 4 or 5 other women. Because like I said, y'all can have some immaculate sex, great vibes, dope energy, and then boom, he get into an argument with this bitch. And now you're sitting here in awkward vibes and for something that has nothing to do with you. I'm sorry, but for me personally, call me selfish, I don't feel me and my man be getting into it enough on our own. I don't need for us to be in a good space and now he's grumpy because y'all two got into it. That shit don't have nothing to do with me. Like, let me put it like this. If you're a woman who wants to do 50-50, cool. If you're a woman who feels like your man is supposed to be the provider, it's going to be very difficult for you to have this in a polygamous situation because the average man in America makes between 40 and 60K a year, which is not enough to provide for 7 different women and their children, right? So if you are a woman who wants to be provided for, 9 times out of 10, that's not going to happen if you're in a polygamous situation because he can't provide for you, but he can't go and provide for you and then not provide for his other wives. So what's going to end up happening is y'all are going to have to provide for yourselves. Y'all are going to have to, do the split shit up 7 ways, whatever the case may be. This may not be a problem. I'm just throwing that out there that in today's society, the average man cannot afford to have multiple different women, multiple different children with these women, and actually provide for all of them. They just can't. Niggas are bitching about the child support they got to pay now. So what makes you think that they're actually going to pay rent and utilities and purchase food and clothing and things of that nature for 7 different households? They're just not. It's not realistic. It's not possible. So if you are a woman who does feel like your man is supposed to be a provider, polygamy does not make sense to you. You're going to end up being the provider in the situation. That's just what the fuck it is. I'm sorry. But yeah, y'all, it's really a lot. It's really a lot of different, aspects of polygamy that is not what the fuck is cracked up to be. You see these people who put this image on for the media, but, and don't get me wrong, there are people that are genuinely happy. There are people that genuinely enjoy polygamy and it's working out fine for them. But I'm here to tell you that's a fucking minority, especially in America. Amongst Black people, especially within bro. It's a minority. It's a minority. The majority of people who are doing polygamy are only doing so out of lust and desperation, and it's hella problems in that shit that you're not seeing on the surface that they're trying to hide, especially people that have built their platforms off of being polygamous. No shade. It's a lot of people within the conscious community who have built their entire platform around the fact that they're in a poly couple or a throuple, whatever. So if they were to split up, their entire brand goes out the fucking window. Do you think these people are going to get on here and admit that they hate it here and that they really want out of this shit? No, because their whole brand is built around them being in that. Then when you add on to it the extra details like I talked about earlier, women who really want this man, and I'm not really fucking with this shit, but I don't want to walk away from him. I don't want to give him up. They're going to comply, y'all. But yeah, that poly shit is for the birds. It's for the birds. If you are a heterosexual woman or a bisexual but not really interested in being with a woman for the rest of your life, there's nothing you get out of sharing your man with multiple other women. There's nothing you get out of it financially. There's nothing you get out of it mentally. There's nothing you get out of it emotionally. It just takes a lot more time, a lot more complications, and extra added steps and details to what should be a simple relationship. It's nothing you get out of it legally. I can go on and on and on, y'all. The shit is not all it's cracked up to be. Do not buy into the hype. Do not try to jump on this trend, because a lot of people are riding this trend wave of, oh, poly, oh, like, I'm telling y'all, it's a scam. It's a scam. But yeah, that's my little rant. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Once again, if you don't like what I said, that's fine. Drop something in the comment. Let me know how you feel. Better yet, let me know and I'll add you to the show and you can speak your mind to the people, right? And we can talk about it. But yeah, y'all, I'm about to get off of here.